Alright guys, so we're back on the Honda Fury today. I picked up some stuff from our local Harbor Freight. I went ahead and grabbed this axle block nut set here. So inch and a quarter ends up working to be 32. I needed these anyways. I don't have them at work. I don't use them that often. Most of my tools are actually Matco, but you know, this doesn't get used as often. I keep borrowing from my workmates, so I figured, I need them now, so I'll go ahead and just buy them. We've got the 8090 weight here today. We're going to go ahead and throw the washer on it, fill this sucker up, and then we're gonna go ahead and sand this down here. The cover actually made it in already, which was extremely fast. For the battery cover here, I already got that. So it also came in black, which the other side is as well. So definitely matching, didn't have to paint it, so even better. I went ahead and grabbed some jack stands as well, so we can get the front up and start removing the fender in the front tire. The rear tire I've already dropped off over at Cycle Gear. The tire should be here tomorrow, so we'll go ahead and throw those on. And then brake pads, front and rear, should also be here tomorrow as well, so we'll get that all going. So today we're just going to fill up this and then start cleaning this up here, hopefully getting it ready to reinstall. Alright, so the drain is a 6mm. This guy here is a 17, so 6 millimeter Allen, and then the 17 nut here. And so now we've got it drained out. It looks really gross. We're gonna need a new crush washer here that I didn't get. This uses an O-ring, but the O-ring actually does not look bad. You can see that it's still protruding above that. So, and this is 8090 weight. It doesn't use that much, as you can tell. That's basically all that's drained out here. So what we're gonna do is we'll get some crush washers. We're gonna let this drain all the way out. We'll get some crush washers, and we basically will fill this back up. And to fill this up, you basically just fill up with the 8090 weight until it comes out of here, and then once it fully drains, like from here, then it's full. But yeah, as you can see, it didn't even drain that much out, but it looks pretty terrible. So we're gonna let this drip. We're gonna let this drip here, and we can't really do much else today. I'm gonna go grab some emery cloth to clean up the axle here. So some emery cloth. I still have some grease here. Crush washers I have at the shop, so I'll grab those Monday or so. And I may take off the front fender on the front. I may wait because it really won't make that much of a difference. The fender's not that hard to remove. I almost forgot. So basically, when you go to remove the axle here, make sure you take this pinch nut out. This is a 12mm pinch nut. You don't have to take it fully. You don't have to fully extract it. You just need it enough up. But I went ahead and just pulled it out because it's really not much more work, but it doesn't have to come all the way out. So the way this works is that this pinches down and it locks the axle in place. So don't forget to loosen that up. All right, so we got our quart of 8090 weight. We're basically cut the top off, and we're basically just gonna fill this up here until it starts coming out the fill hole, and then we'll just seal it back up. All right, so I got some 1000 grit sandpaper here. This is the Harbor Freight stuff. It's wet or dry. Went ahead and cut it in half, and then just gonna work the axle shaft here a little bit. We're not trying to do anything crazy. I think I probably would have went a little bit more than 1000 grit, but that's all that I had here, so we're just going to take our time and then go through that really quick just to clean it up. That's all we're doing. Emery cloth would work just as well, but they didn't have any of that, so this is what we're just going to use. All right, so this is about like literally 5 minutes of just kind of slightly sanding with this stuff. And what I'm doing here is, even though these black marks look really gross, I'm actually only feeling for anything that feels like it sticks up. And so realistically, this little bottom area by my thumb and like this area right here is a little on the rough side. So we'll polish that down a little bit more and then we'll check it out. All right, a few more minutes there, and this is all smoothed out. Does not feel like it'll have any problems going in. So I went ahead and just checked it all over and then felt anything that stood up and just lightly sanded it down. It only took a sheet of sandpaper. I just you know, tore it into pieces just to make it a little easier to handle. So this is a lot smoother than what it was before. So I don't have any issues with thinking that this is going to go back in. So just like this, like I said last time, we're going to go ahead and put the shaft back in with the spacer, washer, and nut. That way we don't have to forget where it needs to go. But that is a lot easier than just now. So super happy with that. Go ahead and throw our wheel spacer back on, and then we'll tighten that up and then just wait for the wheel to get back. All right, so unfortunately I've got to end this one short. I definitely tried to situate my jack a little bit better to see if I can get the front up, but there's just no way of doing it. So I've got a little bit more done, not as much as I'd like, but it is what it is. So hopefully tomorrow we can pick up that rear tire, stick that sucker back on, and then rear tires, brake pads in the rear, get the rear situated here, drop it back down, and then do the front, and then that'll be the next thing. All right, it took Cycle Gear like forever to get this tire back to me, like literally 4 days. But whatever, it's home, it's back. So we're gonna go ahead and slap this back on. We also got brake pads that we're gonna do to wrap it all up, and then the rear should be done, and we'll move on to the front. All right, so the rear tire's on. I greased everything. This actually took quite a bit. I started to strip it almost on accident, but saved it because I caught it last second. This is actually 94 foot-pounds, so it's pretty heavy, but got it on. It's all good. So you want to torque this down before you do the pinch bolt, because you want to make sure that the axle gets pulled all the way through. And once you hit that torque spec, then you go over and tighten that. So unfortunately, though, I do not have the Allen screw for this for the pin on the brake, so I can't do that, unfortunately. But it doesn't. I've never done it on a Fury, but it doesn't seem too hard to do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just tighten the screw back up, this cover. So once you remove this cover, there's an Allen bolt that goes back here to remove it. Unfortunately, I forgot it, but hopefully it's not too hard to do. We're gonna toss the exhaust back on, and then we'll lower it down. The pads obviously are warm, but you know, if it came down to it, you could still ride it. So we're gonna throw the exhaust down, put it down, and then start working on the front. All right, so we got the front jacked up, and it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of taking these fenders off and then these pinch bolts here, and I think that's actually it. Should be relatively straightforward. We'll get that knocked out here in a second, and then we'll have that tire ready to go for tomorrow. All right, I didn't even have to remove the front fender. The front was way easier. Literally 19 bolt, 21 nut here. Back that off, and then it just slides right out. The two sleeves right here, and the whole assembly's out. So we're gonna toss this in the car, drop it off at Cycle Gear tomorrow. We're ready to go. So yeah, there's four 6mm Allens, 2 on each side, and then literally the 19 and the 21, and that whole assembly came out. So a lot easier, way easier than the rear. Okay, so rear pads are done. Brought the right tool. So it's basically just a flathead to remove the cap, 6mm Allen, remove, obviously make sure the piston's compressed, remove the old pads, and then the new ones slide right in. Bam, don't even have to pull off the caliper. Front wheel was on, super easy, straightforward. Front brakes actually look really good, so didn't bother replacing those, but I do have them for next time. So a couple other things that I just realized, well, not couple, but one. Previous owner put the headlight in, but if you guys look, it's not straight. So I'm going to pull that off and take a look at it. Hopefully it's a quick and easy fix. All right, we got the factory headlight back on. It's ready to rock, I guess. Of course.